This is the book of Mars and Pluto. Mars is currently in Gemini, balanced out by Sagittarius until August 11th. And Pluto is currently in Aquarius, balanced out by the nationalized Leo until the 9th of March of 2043. This is Tuesday. It's called Do Si Crees Guarido Brero Toro Do 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 Anomaly. Si Crees Guarido Brero Toro Do 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 Anomaly. Anomaly Bay Ek El. This is the 4th of August, so-called. 7:26 a.m. is when this was writ. Started on this writ. The moon is currently in waning gibbous. And it is in the reversion of a state new L of Aries, balanced out by Libra until it will go into Taurus, a stopple on the 5th tomorrow, projected around 5:07 a.m., balanced out by Scorpio. The moon is currently in his home sign of the nationalized Leo, a stopple, and Jupiter is currently supporting the nationalized sign of the sun, which is Leo, balanced out by Aquarius. And Sirius is risen. So now we must make an affidavit about our violations of the Constitution and treaty, and the foreign occupiers violations of the Constitution for the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship for us both. Part 1, the Divine and National Affidavit on my and the foreign occupiers' violations of the Constitution for the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship. The Saba people, the Yakubian experiments, Part 1. These are quotes from divine. These are quotes that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use these as certain catalyst resources. These are quotes from the divine from the divine warning from the Prophet Noble Jurali to the nations. 1. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family, bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. Then another one, outline out of his letter I got, is there is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine national movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government and not under a granted privilege, as has been the existing condition for many generations. The third outline I got out of his letter is the wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens alone. And without your citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth, and I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution, because in the enforcement of the Constitution, to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all the support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. I'm depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. That's another outline that I got out. And the last outline that I got out of his letter is, I love my people and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national and divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. Now I get into mine. The United States Corporation Company, this is the Divine and National Affidavit on my and the foreign occupiers' violations of the Constitution for the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship, the Saba people, the Yakubian Experiment Part 2. The United States Corporation Company Israeli within the foreign jurisdiction of Unum Sanctum has financed stations upon these national and divine lands of the continents of Americas to protect their circle church and chancery investments of colonialism, estate theft, and genocide of the indigenous populace. They, with technology maxims, have enslaved, employed, manipulated, and recruited indigenous peoples to carry out colonial terrorism, estate theft, and genocide upon the indigenous populace of the American continent and true American citizens. They have made birth to birthright abandonment to genocide congressional military industrial complex pipeline that uses these areas of people activity to colonize, estate theft, and genocide the indigenous populace of the American continent and all true American citizens alike. Economics, education, which is animal husbandry training, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health. The effect is many indigenous peoples of the American continent and true American citizens become willing participants in our loss of estate, human traffic, hereditament traffic, hermetic and cosmic, karmic ass whooping, and ultimate genocide because we were trained in their birth to birthright abandonment to genocide, congressional military industrial complex pipeline. I now give an account for my violations of the Constitution, the United States of America, and Moroccan Treaty and Peace. No, I now give an account for my violations of the Constitution for the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Article 1, Section 10 of the United States of America, the Constitution for the United States of America. All of my life, and what I have witnessed in my family, community, nation, internation, and human family, etc. We have claimed that human trafficking bookkeeping notes was silver and gold and able to pay debts legally. That's a violation of the Constitution for the United States of America. My second violation of the Constitution for the United States of America is Article 3, Section 1, 2, and 3. I, my nation, internation, human family, community, and etc., and family, etc., has attended human trafficking venues impersonating as lawful courts of justice, called traffic courts, etc., and has been involved with interactions that violate the payment/debt principles of Article 1, Section 10. We unknowingly and knowingly engage in misprision of treason, seeing something wrong and unlawful, but going with it due to ignorantium of our divine rights due to the occult Spanish Inquisition upon our estates, which is what causes the knowing and unknowing. We know it in our heart is wrong, but unknowingly, well, how do you tackle it? How do you deal with it? Well, nothing can be done with it. Well, that whole generational thing. So that's, knowing and unknowingly participating in the violation of the Constitution of the United States for the knowingly and unknowingly violating the Constitution for the United States of America, Article 3, Section 10, Section 1 through 2 and 3. Now, as for my violation of the Constitution for the United States of America, Article 4, Section 4. I, my nation, my internation, human family, community, and family, etc., has violated the principle of guaranteeing a republican form of government and cling to names and principles of democracy. This was done as we underwent the occult Spanish Inquisitions against our state. Though in parentheses, those are the Unum Sanctum operations. Out of parentheses, and its tentacles of birth to birthright abandonment to genocide congressional military industrial complex pipeline. Now, as for my violations of the Constitution for the United States of America, Article 6, it is as follows. The essence, divine and national, of the Article 6 of the Constitution for the United States of America is honor thy father, mother, and heirs. Go back to your highest mind/heart, which is the state of mind of your ancestors, fathers, mothers, and heirs. divine and national affidavit on my and the foreign occupiers' violation of the Constitution for the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship, the Saba people, the Yakubian Experiment, Part 3. In violating the articles, give me a second. 6. In violating the articles of the Constitution for the United States of America, we are violating the supreme law of the land, the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Therefore, we place ourselves in the undesirable scope of Hermetic principles' negative polarity. With this, I acknowledge and give account for my known and unknown violations of the supreme law of the land as an economic, spiritual, political, civic, occult, metaphysical, quantum physical, physical, and genetic part and parcel governing body of Midgard. Please consultreme, my higher and lower self that works in harmony, that I will be righteous in my rulership, which is my reasonable service, helping and supporting the Prophet Noble Drew Ali in his great missionary work, returning our people to the constitutional fold of government. With that said, this is where the occupying forces of foreign jurisdiction, impersonating as lawful government, has violated the Constitution for the United States of America and the supreme law of the land, the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Number 1, in the foreign occupiers violating of the Constitution for the United States of America, Article 1, Section 10. Using their occult, foreign, onum sanctum policy, birth to birthright abandonment to genocide, congressional military industrial complex pipeline, economics, education, which is animal husbandry training, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health, animal husbandry training which are all forms of animal husbandry training of the indigenous populace of the global and American continent and true American citizens, so that they will do what? So that they, through threat, duress, coercion, and intimidation, will co-sign unconstitutional principles of paying debts without silver and gold, but with not with paying, so that they will co-sign the unconstitutional principles of paying debts, not with silver and gold, but with human trafficking bookkeeping notes and other means of Midgardian terrorism. The second part, where the foreign occupying forces of Unum Sanctum has violated the Constitution for the United States of America, is Article 3, Section 1, 2, and 3. They do it by using their occult, foreign, unum sanctum policy, human trafficking venues impersonating as lawful and de jure courts, and via their birth to birthright abandonment to genocide, congressional military industrial complex pipeline training upon the indigenous peoples of the global and American continents and all true American citizens. We all, at one point or another, via their occult, duress, threat, coercion, and intimidation, co-signed their fraudulent, lawful, and de jure, posing as but is actually unlawful and is actually de facto. But we co-sign it fraudulently as being lawful and de jure and legitimate against our own well-being, making us liable for the fraud. And as colonizers and foreign operators, occult, unum sanctum operators, were well aware of their part in this training of their operations and posing as lawful and de jure, which they are actually de facto. The Divine and National Affidavit on my and the foreign occupiers' violations of the Constitution for the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship. The Saba people, the Yakubian Experiment, Part 4. This is another area where the foreign occupiers have violated the Constitution of the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship. This is Article 4, Section 4. The occult of the Constitution of the United States of America. The occult unum sanctum and its United States Corporation Company Israeli and its operatives, Horace Greeley, Whiggamore Party, Conscience Whigs, Organic Act of Congress 1871, Dred Scott Decision 1857 Stare Decisis, Dungy Case 1855 Stare Decisis, 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment, civil rights operatives, and many other things made to steal the indigenous people's birthrights and genocide them off, all are not Republican forms of government. Through the occult, congressional, military, industrial complex pipeline, which is birth to birthright abandonment to genocide, of unum sanctum foreign animal husbandry training operations upon these lands, many of us, once again, has co-signed the Constitution for the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship violations, and therefore increased our poverty, our psychological injury, and many other misfortunes, because we knowingly and unknowingly made ourselves liable for the fraud. The last part where I've documented where the foreign occupiers have violated the Constitution for the United States of America principles is Article 6. Just now, as I was writing that, just now the unconstitutional machine turns on at 9:23 a.m. The concentration is 3 through 4 over 10. And getting back to the writ, the occult unum sanctum foreign operations war against humanity and attack principles of nature/natural law. This is the evil that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says must be removed. I estoppel/rebuttal in summary of this particular level of this affidavit. I estoppel/rebuttal, adverse claim, and reversion of estate against all de facto, color of authority, bottom re-instruments against my estate by the occult, metaphysical, quantum physical, genetic, civic, economic, spiritual, and political unum sanctum Spanish Inquisitions. I send an aboriginal trust and allodial trust of this valuable protection of wealth, rights, and love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, sincerity, equality, and joy to myself, my family, my community, my nation, my internation, my human family, and the detailed and vague information of whatever incarnation we choose. At 9:31 a.m., I gave my consent. Simon Treme El Ekbe. The Divine and National Affidavit on me and the foreign occupiers' violations of the Constitution for the United States of America and the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship. The Saba people, the Yakubian Experiment, Part 5. This is yesterday, the Bay of the Moon Bay. And I was cooking and studying and musing, and this is what I did in me going to so-called sleeping, and the way it looked to what I did with the last parts of my bay, or the last parts of the bay, between let's say about 12 p.m. going all the way into what time it is now on so-called Tuesday, the Bay of Mars, 10:22 a.m. I muse on estoppel/rebuttal, adverse claim, reversion of estate using the content catalysts of State Property, 2002 movie, and Mary J. Blige, Love for Sale movie, Hunger Games movie. The State Property was made on the 18th of January, 2002. The Hunger Games Mockingjay movie, I just said that. Lovecraft Country movie, the song Alice Smith, I Put a Spell on You, and the lectures of Moorish law of Queuing Valar Hassanida Bay, the scenes from 300, and the lecture from Real Moors Talk, episode 27, the Yaqub Experiment, Fact or Fiction by Daraya Bey, Prime Minister and National Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey, and lastly, some songs from Wardruna. Those songs were Brna and Helvegen. Then I call and honor my mother and spend the rest of my time wailing in spirit. Then I so-called sleep, so-called awake. I eat and I so-called sleep, so-called awake. Then I eat and then I repeat so-called sleep. In my so-called dream, I see this. -1. In the Gravity movie of October 4th, 2013, the space traveling character does many flips in so-called space. 2. Kali Ma character crawls on the floor in front of crowds following her. 3. Diamond the body and I like one another. I am with someone though, and so is she. We continue to flirt. Her guy comes around and I find out who he is. He sets me up to go get flowers based on something honorable. I come to resistance from the de facto mall so-called security that he was in on. He admits to being a noble Drew Ali great sellout Moor. The security does also. I stand on principle. They acknowledge my standing on principle and state that they are the, quote, old Moors pushed to the back by the new Moors with open eyes that noble Drew Ali talked about, unquote. I eventually beat up the security because they had my things. The lecture that was playing was, the lecture is on YouTube. It's called Consular Jurisdiction and Perceived Powers of the People, Part 2. And it's done by General Counsel Maurice Lamont L., interviewed by Dr. Gilliam. And this was done on the YouTube page of the House of Reawakening Minds. Before the above dream, this is the first dream I had, I and Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey and others were at McDonald's. I communicated my channel, quote, the higher self rises as the lower self rises also, which is why the movie Temptations 2 came out, unquote. I see trucks, I see inspections on drawers, I see Vendetta and I communicate about my desire for her and her beauty. Then another part of this is a child of the occult unum sanctum noisemakers is doing their operations municipal at this particular location. That is 10 North Lind Avenue, apartment 10A 60162. I am at the state of Hillside, Illinois. Shout out to General Lamont L. Counsel. So he's doing his noisemakers operations against my estate. I reject him and counter. A hybrid female opens the door. I tell her to knock. She goes out to get ready to knock. I said, don't worry about it. You don't have to do that. I tell her the operations of her and them that I am aware of. She chooses not to speak on it, but she gives me certain golden nuggets and clues pointing me in the direction of Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey. Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey mentions Russia and he talks, quote unquote, her. And he mentions, and I meet Moorish archetype who talks AO skins. And he said, and Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey says, next week we'll take you behind the curtains, meet the people in the back. This was done during the lecture of naturalization and diversity versus naturalization and wardship. That is the name of the YouTube video. It was done at the House of Reawakening Minds with Dr. Gilliam, and it was done on the date of March 18th, 2022. within my dream, so-called, I'm doing some punches / kicking training. I'm charging phone. Some under individual, hybrid individual is charging phone at McDonald's. The hybrid is the South of Mexum hybrid. And then I'm seeing traders and honorable Moors all meet up. Dr. Gilliam is there. They all speak their piece, their sides within this Midgardian experience that we all had. Then I look forward to meeting up with the Moabitess archetype for intimate relations. Upon me so-called waking up, the color of authority are doing their operations. I expose all of their tech and operations to the general public and scholars for cross-examination, critique, and scrutiny for their estates in particular and everything else in general. All of my allodial rights and aboriginal rights are reserved. Everything that was unwrit in this writ is in my hidden sun and already activated where it is supposed to be. Everything that is writ has been writ, as we've just read. As above, so below, as within, so without. 1, 2, 2, 2, counsel, tremes, serpenti crocodilus.